you're going to need a series of languages to interpret what you're typing to get into their dimension, into that box. And the box is made like you. The screen has a face and the CPU like your guts. So it's like a little human sitting there that we designed so that we would understand ourselves. Allah allowed it to describe the tawassul, that you need to seek a means. There is no direct communication, not up and not even down. So when the person is typing and making a series of requests, every time they type and press the key of their computer, it's called a request. Request what we call dua and prayers, and once we go up it'll be a different understanding. And going down, you type and make a request. As soon as you use these softwares that they call languages, means something has to be interpreted from what you're typing. There has to be a language and a software design that takes all of your letters, because there's too many problems in kalam. So they're typing and putting in words and they think they're communicating, and I said, no, there's a software. That software, and they call languages, that will take all your complicated sentences that are filled with errors, what they call bugs. These long sentences have to be broken down into letters and numbers, because the ultimate at the very bottom box is just numbers. The computer machine, what they call machine language, doesn't understand any of those letters. So the software developers, writers, programmers, they had to make a series of softwares that take these long strings and threads. Now words, Allah showing, become strings and threads. When we talked about hablillah, the rope of Allah is the word of truth. So word and string, God's showing it, because He wrote the program for everything. He wrote the program for up and the program for down. He wrote the program for this computer and all its technologies, so that one day people would contemplate and understand. You think it's easy to talk up, but you can't even talk down without going through a series of different complicated software. So this long sentence that we type has to be converted into letters and numbers. So they take these commonly used phrases and words, excuse me if we're completely incorrect on all the details, but it condenses and compiles. There's a software now that begins to compile these phrases into letters and numbers, letters and numbers, letters and numbers, and the degrees of compilers that keep condensing. Every time it sees A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll bring it down to even something smaller, smaller, until its ultimate goal is a fine numeric code. So then there's a software that brings it down. This software that is compiling and bringing things together brings it down to a numeric code, gets rid of all those letters that you typed in, and within a fraction of a second it did the translation and it appeared the typing of hello.